Well, okay then. What a kind of a nostalgic flashback this is to the very beginnings of virtual heavy metal Truants during a very different and changed world. Thanks to everyone who's joining us today. Um, Buckle up. I'm just about to bring in the dynamo. That is Helen Curl. She's just joining us now. Hopefully things are working, and there she is. There she is. Connecting to audio. Here we go. Helen, how are you
Hello.
doing? What's going on?
Good.
Wow. I gotta say, just as you were about to join, I was just saying this is a little nostalgic for us because it's a bit of a throwback to the very beginning of HMTV.
I literally remember sitting in my spare room at the time, and like putting all of the HMT stuff on the wall behind me, and like, yeah,
Yeah,
super nostalgic.
yeah, indeed. But I think it signifies the way that we adapted and grew as a community of people doing this wonderful thing. And here we are again, to paraphrase Whitesnake.
Which is an excellent choice to make.
Yes, it's called foregrounding in broadcast, or so I was told by a professional once. So yeah, so we have some fantastic guests joining us today, Helen, and it's a great way, I think, always to remind ourselves why we're doing it, because as we're all busy training, we're all busy to kind of get out there, raise funds, and all that. We have
Who's
two.
training?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we have two really fantastic guests who are going to be joining us first. Who do we have joining us today?
So we have two of our lovely charities that are joining us, obviously, as people that may not have seen HMTV before, and may not know a huge amount about HMT. We have four beneficiaries, and today we've got two of the charities joining us. We've got Tammy and Fidelma from Save the Children, and we've also got Sandy Trappett from Nordoff and Robbins Music Therapy. We're really excited to have these guys on today, not only to kind of talk about the fundraising and where the money goes to, but also to kind of just remind everyone why it is we do this, why Alex and I get on YouTube Live every couple of weeks during the ride, and why we email you constantly going, keep donating, keep sending that money. This is why.
Yes, yeah, very well said. And after that, we're going to be visited by a Stetsoned supporter of Heavy Metal Truants who is celebrating a very special anniversary this year.
Indeed, and I think he's got a little something to tell us as well.
Yes.
I put this guy here just for added value.
Very well chosen. Yeah, well, it's a really big deal to have Andy Copping along. Nobody has been a more kind of fervent or unflinching supporter of what we've done from the very beginning, and it's really special to have him on board, especially because he's got a little event coming up with, I guess, 90 or so thousand people turning up, and then
it's a small thing, just a
little thing going
weekend.
on. Indeed, indeed. But yeah, it'll be great to have him along to remind us of just the kind of music industry support that also makes what we do possible as well. So I'm really excited about that. Now, I can see in the waiting room, we have both of our charities ready to come aboard. But Helen, where are we at the moment with fundraising for Heavy Metal Truants? What's the state of play?
That's a really good question. So literally I was scrambling to get the finances together. So on Race Nation itself, which is where we are getting all the donations online, they're showing about 17,000 at the moment, which is good. However, in the bank account, we've got a little bit more because we've had some other people and other friends of HMT, including guitarist, who make amazing jewelry, which is made out of old guitar strings and bass strings. They managed to send us 15,000. So at the moment, we are currently on £33,374.67. So that is really good going for the beginning of the ride. But obviously, as we're starting the challenges this weekend with the virtual challenges and the physical challenges starting a little bit later, but the physical challenges starts on Saturday I want to see that number creep up.
Yes, and if you're anything like me, you might just leave that browser tab on the fundraising open. And every day I just hit refresh. I drink my espresso, and then I hit refresh, and I see if it's bumped up a little bit. And it's deeply satisfying to see everyone's efforts literally paying off for the charities. So without further ado, let's bring Fidelma and Sandy, respectively, of Nordhoff and Robbins and Save the Children, into the chat. Here we go. Okay.
We should also have Tammy from Save the Children as well. Do you have Tammy in there? There's Sandy. Hi.
Oh,
Thank you. Hi guys, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Hair. You look great.
Yeah, it was getting time. It was all starting to fall out, and I was like, nah, cut it off.
Oh, I love it. It makes you look so much younger.
Well, yeah, that's it's also the filter.
Ah,
I love a filter.
I'm all about a filter. Oh, brilliant. Hey, Alex.
Really nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. Apologies from Tammy. She's stuck on the motorway on the M5,
Nice.
and she's in a panic. So I'm covering for Tammy as well today.
It's fine. We can do the four of us. It's all good.
it's nothing to panic about as well. We're all relaxed. Thank you so much for joining us. And for anyone that isn't familiar with the work you do, I wondered if beginning with yourself, Sandy, if you could tell us just a little bit about the work that Nordhoff does, and then we'll jump over to Fidelma.
Yeah, no problem at all. Nordhoff and Robbins, we've gone through rebrand, repositioning, you guys might know. And what we've done is we've really kind of wanted to bring to life our founders, Paul Nordhoff and Clive Robbins. They created this incredible music therapy that we deliver today in our centres across the UK. We deliver music therapy to a range of people from babies all the way up to people in care homes with dementia, and everything in between. So our incredibly trained music therapists who train on a Masters of Music Therapy for 2 years to get their license so that they can be music therapists, go out and deliver music therapy into care homes, into schools, special needs schools, hospitals, car parks, wherever they're needed. They will turn up, they will deliver incredible music therapy, or we can invite people into our spaces where they can come in and have access to us there for free. So we might work with people in one-to-one situations, we might do small groups, we might do big groups. We run a community choir from our London centre in Kentish Town, which is incredible. And I'm always encouraging people to come along and get involved. And our musical doors are always open.
Do you have any alternative music in the choir though? That's, I think, what everyone's wondering right now.
Yeah, we rock it out. You know
Excellent.
that we are something for everything and everyone. We love all genre. You know that we've got a few rock, that with Layla, because she was gutted she couldn't be here, and so you've got stuck with me. But Layla is our legendary rock chick, if we're allowed to still use that label within the organization, and is incredible. But yeah, we've got a real mix within the team as well as within our music therapists. We're all very passionate about music, and essentially music is something for everybody. It's in our DNA. It's who we are and what we do. And what we do is we use music to connect to people. We know that there's a lot of people lonely and isolated and concerned about things right now out there. So music is this incredible lifeline that can bring you back in, connect you to more people, and make you feel part of a community and something really special, which I've always believed is the same within the heavy metal community as well. You guys are incredible, how you all support each other, and it's just brilliant.
Yeah, well, I think you've used a really important word there, which is community. And I think there's one thing that's been really powerful about all of this heavy metal truants stuff that's been happening for over 10 years now is it's made great friendships, but it's also helped us connect with an incredible group of people, which is, I think, where, interestingly, Save the Children actually came in. They kind of had an idea about what we were doing, but got in touch. And Fidelma is a bit of a refresher, but also as an introduction for people that might not be as familiar with Save the Children's work. I mean, how would you encapsulate the kind of work you do in a nutshell? Because it's been around for some time.
Yes, thank you so much. Yes. Well, Save the Children has been around over 100 years, 104 years to be precise. Back then, a woman called Eglantine Jebb stood up against the injustices suffered by children. And among the many oft quoted things we say to remember our work is humanity owes the child the best it has to give. Now, clearly, we're falling short of the mark. But people like yourselves, guys, supporting the work that we're doing in over 100 countries, we cannot thank you enough, because we are really trying to create a more just world where children, like all our own children in this, or many of our children in this country, can grow up with some safety, with a sense of a future, with enough food, with education, with medical support when they're ill, the kind of basic human rights, really. That's what Save the Children's about, trying to establish the human rights for every child in the world. It's a big job, but we are finding that the more we amplify what we're doing, the more people just want to support, you know, and it's just fantastic.
Yeah, I think that's one of the reasons we brought you guys on, because obviously, you know, when we started, we were a fairly small charity organization, or, you know, kind of fundraising for UK based. But I think one of the really important things about how Heavy Metal Truants has grown is adding that international flavor in, and showing that we really are a worldwide community. You know, heavy metal isn't just about the UK. It's this is a global thing now. We've got people from all over the world doing virtual challenges to raise money for international charities and charities that are super important in the UK as well.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And thanks to you that we're reaching audiences we would not have reached. You know, you guys have just opened the doors. Your music to our ears. Really.
That's nice.
Oh, well, fantastic. But I mean, it really is about the money, right? You know, it's all about the fundraising. And what we wondered is, because I mean, we certainly felt it on our side, and all we do is get people to get out to walk and run and get on bicycles. What you guys do is incredibly, you know, complex, and, you know, just having a continuity of the kind of services and support that you offer to children has got to be absolutely central. So I wondered if, you know, specifically in the UK, you felt any kind of pinch with the cost of living crisis. You know, it feels like there's less money to go around for lots of people. I mean, has that seen a dip? Because I think, you know, Helen and I, we both remember very well how during the pandemic, it seemed like charitable giving seemed to take a nosedive across the board, particularly for event-based things. We wondered, have you guys seen a dip? I mean, because I want to kind of highlight how important it is for people to push even harder than ever now.
Yeah, no, it's a great point, Alex. And I think I've been calling it a cost of giving crisis, because I read, you know, and I'm sure that my yeah, you know, it's really tough, because what we do as a charity, we work with other charities, with other organizations, and we're providing them with music therapy. But if they can't pay their heating or their bills, then how can they afford to take on, you know, music therapy? And we've seen that across the board in terms of, it's really challenging right now for a lot of charities, not just for Nordoff and Robbins, but a lot of us out there are really, really struggling. And I think that the most vulnerable people in society are at risk of being isolated even more by not having the ability to receive, you know, music therapy from us, for sure. But even with my colleague here, you know, it's actually very, very worrying. We, you know, as fundraisers, we are trying to find that balance between understanding and appreciating how difficult it is for people right now, but also wanting to make sure that the people that we support and help have got the ability to access our facilities and our services. And it's finding that balance and getting it right. So, you know, you guys have been incredible. I cannot thank you enough. Honestly, anyone watching in right now, you are amazing. What you've managed to do over what is such a difficult period, coming out of the pandemic as well, you know, and going straight into what is unknown and unseen before, is quite something. So I thank you. I really, really, really thank you.
Yes, it's us thanking you for inspiring us to do all of this. That's what keeps us coming back. How about yourself, Fidel? I mean, have you, from your perspective, I mean, just like with such a global organization and so on, have you perhaps specifically seen, you know, a dip or extra challenges here in the UK?
It's an interesting one, because yes and no was the answer, Alex, if that makes sense. Yes, there's definitely been some reduction at some of the time, but overall, I think people are even, it might sound a bit strange, even more generous, especially when we can break down what even a pound can do. So I've got like, I'm going to just, you can see that. It's plumpy nut paste. It's a packet of paste, high nutrition paste.
Wow.
It's got to one of our health centres in some of the African countries, for example, that are facing hunger at the moment, the hunger crisis. 50 pence can be the difference between life and death.
Wow.
When I bring that to schools and talk to kids, and I had a school assembly this week, and one of the kids had raised £6,600 from a Ramadan challenge.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah, then they inspire each other, and conversations like this inspire. Obviously, we're probably talking to the converted on this particular show, but when kids, they were just so excited hearing about what their friend had done, and one of them was getting in trouble, almost delaying others, saying, "What can I do? Where can I go to get ideas?" I said, "Talk to your mom, talk to the teacher, and look up Save the Children website," and off he went. You know, so it's really inspiring each other, and it's not about a few heroes doing huge amounts. It's many of us doing a little amount. And we found a massive phenomenon in the last couple of years of child fundraisers, children really being moved. And these aren't kids themselves that are from wealthy families or from well-to-do areas. They're just kids that are feeling the pain of other kids who are much worse off. And then bombs dropping on them, you know. And
they're seeing the world, and they're, you know, I think pandemic really opened everyone's eyes to you know, the crises that are going on around the world, because all we could do really was, you know, was watch TV and just kind of see what was happening.
Absolutely.
And it's amazing the amount of children I've seen that are taking on challenges because they feel like they have the responsibility now to fix what is broken.
Yes. And when I was growing up, I didn't have one of these lovely things. A mixed blessing, a mobile phone. The children have the world in the palm of their hands now from an early age. We forget the geography. These people are our neighbours. Whether they're in London or Swindon, where I am, or in Somalia, there's a sense of global solidarity that these children have. They're a new breed of people. And my God, do we need them right now?
Yeah.
Do we need them right now to just speak out, to really call out these injustices and saying, really, in 2023, people don't have enough to eat and will even die because of it?
Yeah,
you are
crazy.
Kidding me. They are in a rage about it. And good. We want to hear more of their voices.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things that kind of Nordoff and Robbins does. It, you know, it really gives people who struggle a voice that they can, you know, that they can emote and actually get out what they kind of are feeling.
Yes.
And I think also one thing I will encourage, if we can, is gift aid. Always, you know, that gives us that extra 25% on top of what you're already doing, and it's a way of being able to increase your donation through the same amount of work that you're doing. So at any point at all, anyone donating in, no matter what they're donating to, remember to gift aid. It's a lifeline.
Absolutely.
That's
obviously,
a really good point.
It's more difficult for, you know, if you're having sponsorships coming in from companies, obviously it's a little bit difficult, but there is kind of some tax things. But obviously if you've got a person that you know that is donating to you, absolutely tell them, make sure that they click that gift aid button. It's super important, because that, like you said, it is another 25%.
Yeah,
it is. It makes such a difference. It really does.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, I have to thank you both. I kind of feel all fired up now. Thank you so much for coming here to join us, to remind us of why we do it, and just how much a difference even just a little bit can make. What an absolute pleasure to have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Heavy Metal Truants, you rock.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheering you on all
Thanks
the way.
so much
Pedal
for coming
power.
on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you
See you
so much.
soon,
So
guys.
much. And good luck with it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much indeed. Okay then. Well, so Helen, that was emotional.
I'm
Always
ready. And do you know what? It's been what? Gosh, I mean, we've been doing this throughout the year since November, but I think now really feels like it's beginning, it's starting. We're like, it's time to push now.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I guess we're going to bring someone in without whom we wouldn't have a physical destination or indeed an inspiration for the charitable stuff that we do online and virtually. So we're going to bring him in right now. Amanda needs no introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway. His name is Andy Copping, and my gosh, I'm so surprised to see him here today. But then it shouldn't be any surprise. He's always been way behind us, even when he's very, very busy indeed. Mr. Copping, what an absolute pleasure it is to see you there. I think your audio is not yet connected. We're just going to let you do that for 1 second. Are you receiving?
We have got a question in the live chat for Andy, but I'm going to let you.
We're not going to.
Well, I'm here. Can you hear me loud and clear?
We can indeed, Andy. What an absolute
Receiving.
pleasure to see you.
Greetings, everybody.
Very good, very good. Andy, I got to say, man, it is absolutely spoken for download right now. First off, I know it hasn't happened yet, but man, congratulations. It sounds like a banner year. What does it feel like to be celebrating the 20th year of Download Festival?
I feel fucking old, quite frankly. That is for sure. When you look back, all of us that were there, right, the beginning, you know, maybe not just for the first year, but the first early years, when you think how long ago that is, but you remember it like, and I certainly do remember it like yesterday, and it was 20 years ago. I mean, it's absolutely insane. The inception of Download began in the kind of the latter part of 2002, and then obviously came to fruition in 2003, and you know, the Mighty Maiden were there supporting us in our first download, and yeah, all these years on, it's not only do we feel it's an amazing achievement, but just the fact that, you know, we're still here, big and strong. It's great.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's go
Sorry,
ahead.
can I ask a question? How many people were at the original download, Andy?
Well, the numbers, there's been different numbers talked about. I still don't know the official, because back then, of course, it meant something. It was between 25 and 30,000. So when you see what we started at, and we're now 3 times that amount of people.
Yeah.
For an extra, well, actually, we're double the amount, because we were 2 days back then. This year we're 4 days. You know, 4 stages. Wow. We were 2 stages back then. There was not so much going on in the campsite and in the after hours and everything else. There were no truants back then, and obviously, you know, that's evolved over the years with us as the festival has grown. So yeah, it's really quite something that you start off with this, you know, this idea that then just grows to fruition to the point where we're at today.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the thing, though, Andy. I mean, it's like no one begins a journey like the one that you did 20 years ago, knowing you're going to be there in 2023, talking about it and all that. I mean, what do you think that says about the rock and metal community specifically? Because it kind of feels like it's not just an event that's put on. It kind of feels like it's a milestone for people. It's just in a way, it's just like it's an annual pilgrimage for people, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've all been saying this for years, those that are right amongst it, you know, rock and metal fans. It's a community and fiercely loyal. You know, the fans are loyal to the bands that they get into. They're loyal to, you know, their events. It's a complete lifestyle. You and I have got into this industry we started out as music lovers, and you know, here we are still fighting hard, seeing the growth of our genre, if you like, and see, you know, I mean, let's talk about Maiden in particular. The fact that they are quite possibly bigger now than they've ever been. The last UK tour that we did with Maiden was the biggest tour that they'd ever done. The one that's about to come is the biggest UK tour. So we've grown since the last tour. We can say the same for Def Leppard. Def Leppard are bigger than they've ever been. Their last tour was the biggest UK tour that they've ever done. And it's remarkable that, you know, this scene is still strong. The people that got into it 40 odd years ago, like we all did, have grown with it. But what's happened is we've seen the new generations come in, and everybody feels that they're part of something. You know, they feel a sense of belonging, and that's never changed in rock and heavy metal right from the beginning. And I think that, without a shadow of a doubt, is the appeal. And you know, it was funny. I was talking to somebody this morning actually about, you know, how many you know, the real, how can I put it, the nerds that, and we're all nerds about our music and our bands. And I'm going, well, you know, there's probably no bigger nerd for Iron Maiden than Steve Harris. I'm sure you can ask him any question about Iron Maiden from the beginning and he'll know the answer.
Yeah.
Talk to Joe Elliott about anything to do with Def Leppard and he knows it chapter and verse, can name dates. We were here, we did that, we did this. And I thought, yes, there's loads of fans out there that are obviously, you know, super fans, but there's no bigger super fans than the band members themselves, certainly some of them, that just have this knowledge and it's ingrained in them. It's fantastic to be part of that.
Yeah, it is. And, you know, it really just tickles my funny bone. I mean, just to really think about just like the nerdery, you know, the kind of like the glorious encyclopedic knowledge that people love to exhibit about, you know, just, you know, the lineups, the songs and all that kind of stuff. And sometimes indeed the artifacts as well. And, you know, we've obviously been putting our heads together for a little while about, you know, how we can really marry heavy metal truants and Download's incredible 20th anniversary. And so so we're putting some news out today. Tell us a little bit about what we're going to begin rolling out very soon.
Well, I know all of, you know, myself, you, Helen, Rod, and the rest of the Truants team, Shaki and everybody, is we wanted to do something that was going to celebrate obviously the 20th anniversary of Download, but also, you know, we're into big years for the Truants and wanting to do something really special tied in with the festival. So came up with this idea of let's get 20 huge prizes or things or artifacts or whatever, memorabilia from headliners from Download over the years. And we thought, well, we'll set ourselves a goal of getting, you know, 20 really, really big, very special items, get all the artists involved, all the, like, when I say artists, the headline artists over the years at Download, that they will gift something to us from them that we can auction off to get great money for the fantastic causes that Truants represent. And we knew it wasn't necessarily going to be the easiest thing in the world, but also not the hardest thing in the world either, because obviously what Truants have done over the years has been well documented, and you continue to raise a lot of money, and the responses we've had back so far have been really, really positive. I'm already thinking I'm going to be bidding on this stuff. I want this, you know.
So just going quickly, just for those people that may have not seen the press release, the press release went out today for the official Download 20 auction. And we've, as Andy said, we've asked every single headliner that has headlined in the last 20 years, of which there are 27 of them. It answers on a postcard if you can name them all. And they have, as the weeks have gone by, they've been responding back to us and some of the items that they want to donate is phenomenal. I think you guys have been fangirling over a couple of things.
Yes. So I mean, this is the thing, right? I mean, anyone that's ever been my stuff to my house knows that I like stuff, right? Physical objects, memorabilia, all that kind of stuff. I think at a deeper level, I think it bespeaks a great shame that this wonderful music is perhaps not elevated and put on the same pedestal that it really deserves to be as other art forms, and the material artifacts, like the things that signify our history, perhaps are not always, valued or appreciated in the way that they should be. And Andy, I mean, we can't really give away too much about the kind of stuff that is in the pipeline. But a couple of Fridays ago, we had a bit of a Friday night, just sort of hyperventilation down the phone, right? I mean, I can't remember what I texted you. We got an email, and I just sent you, I think the letters included OMG and WTF, and then you
wow, crazy.
Yeah, there were some other letters in there as well.
Yes, no, and I called you straight back because it was such an amazing thing. Are you okay to me to talk?
Yeah,
Go for it.
Oh, so we sent notes out to managers, agents, some of the band members that we know directly as well, and literally by return, David Coverdale, ex of Deep Purple, of Whitesnake, responded and said, "Hey guys, yeah, I'll come up with something." Within an hour, he sends a photograph of this guitar that he bought in 1974. Let me repeat that. He bought it in 1974 from a guitar shop called Manny's in New York. Now, if that date is really important, that year, 1974. 1974 was the year that Burn came out, the first album that David appeared on. So this guitar that he's given us, this acoustic guitar, and he said on it, he said, I've constructed songs and recorded songs with this guitar since I bought it in 74. So this guitar is going to have been on Burn, it's going to have been on Stormbringer, it's going to have been on Come Taste the Band, and everything else that, I mean, David is a full-on musician. He gets very involved in all this. He's not just a vocalist. And obviously all his solo stuff he's done, the things with Whitesnake, and he's gone, it's yours.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at it and I'm going, oh my God, if this is the start of what is to come from other artists, if any of them are a 10th generous to what David's done for us, incredible. And just his enthusiasm and his drive, and he's like, yes, guy, this is for you. I hope you can get good money for it. If you want me to sign it, I'll sign it. And just, you kind of going, this is exactly what we wanted to do with this auction. Previous auctions have been amazing and raised a huge amount of money. We wanted to go one step further. I feel honored that you guys have brought me in to assist, and we've been beavering away, but just that one item itself, I'm literally going, oh, if Alex and Rod weren't on this email, I would have snatched this.
Are you going to be bidding for it?
I'm definitely going to be.
Am I going to see your name coming up?
Definitely, and then something else came through from another act, another guitar that's come through, and I'm going, shit, I'm going to be bidding on that as well. There's too much stuff there.
So I've been chatting away with the guys from Metallica, and obviously they're headlining on Thursday night and Saturday night at this year's Download, which is, I'm just literally can't wait. I'm in pieces about. And the item that there is going to be actually on stage with them at Download.
I mean,
and then they're going to give it to us afterwards with some extra bits and pieces, and we're like,
it is incredible. And over the years, and fans and people really need to know this, the association between different artists is huge. You know, they're all breathing the same air on the road, you know, recording records. They cross paths all the time, whether it's one band's coming out of a studio as another one's going in. In some cases, they can be in the same recording studio at the same time in different rooms. The fact that they're on tour and at festivals, their lives crisscross. And there's a real personal connection between everybody that we've contacted and Iron Maiden, you know, whether it's through the band members, whether it's, you know, via Rod, and everybody else involved, Shaki, yourselves, me. There's a real, I mean, we talk about the rock and metal family. Here's a classic example on that working. And, you know, David Coverdale, Lars and the guys from Metallica, and it's not just them, the management from there too, you know, Tony DiCiaccio and Peter Mensch and everybody. I mean, literally, they've responded immediately. And
they're pulling it out of the bag. But there is one item that even I might bid on, Andy, and that's coming from you.
Yeah,
and
this is literally like, this is the white whale of items.
Yeah,
because this is not the first time we have not done this. Is not the first time we've done an auction. You know, and just around every year, it's almost like Christmas. The day that I ask Andy if we can have
every year, we're like, can we? Do you think he will? Do you think we could?
Well,
and
definitely.
This year, you said yes.
People have asked me, you know, quite a few times in the past, and you know, I've obviously I've made the decision that this is absolutely the right cause where I want it to go to, and it is my very first cowboy hat, and obviously everybody associates me wearing the cowboy hat at Download, which I've been doing since I started wearing it in 2008, and it's been with me throughout. And I'm donating my cowboy hat, which will also include a huge coffee table book from Monsters of Rock, which was originally the forefather of Download. So there'll be a coffee table book. There will be a variety of merch. And when I say a variety of merch, I would say there'll be between 20 and 30 pieces of merch, T-shirts, caps, sweatshirts, hoodies. I've found a proper souvenir ticket from the second Download, which has got Linkin Park and Metallica on it, and it will have a variety of stuff in there. It will also include a pair of tickets for 2024, which will be full VIP camping, the whole bit. I mean, that in itself,
I didn't know that.
I'm throwing that in. That's going to be a pair of tickets. That in itself, 2 people. If you bought that, it's for 2 people, it's going to be around about the £750 mark, just the tickets. So I'll be finding all kinds of other stuff that I will put with it. Obviously, the hat is the main thing, but I want to make it a huge push on Donington and everything that we have.
I think I'm going to have to talk to my bank manager.
Well, the other thing is if you remember, you guys very kindly gave me a Truants flag from, I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, of when you arrived at Donington, and we all held up the flag as our arrival. And you gave that to me, and I always said, you know what, we should auction that off for charity. Aww. That's going in the pot as well. Amazing. So believe me, I'm up against some highly competitive items. So I want to make sure. I mean, you've got the dog next to you there, Helen. I'm going to get 2 or 3 dogs, some Download slippers. There'll be all kinds of stuff coming. I think I may have. I think I've got a Download dressing gown somewhere.
Wow.
So
I mean, we're gonna have to. I'm just thinking logistically, we're gonna have to like photograph all of these items.
yes,
We'll have to get them all in a box and figure it out. That's like
I'm 100% going to town.
Can't
throw
wait.
it in. And I was very lucky as well. In fact, I've got it here. Hang on. It's slightly download related and also Truant related. But 3 or 4 years ago, I bid on
No.
yes, I bid on a baby metal towel. And I am going to put, I've actually got 2 because the band gave me one, but I actually bid and I actually won one of these on the Truants auction, and that's going in as well. So yeah, anything that I can find is going in there. So it'll be well worth somebody bidding and hoping.
I kind of feel like the download dressing gown needs to go in as like a raffle item.
Oh,
you can have that separately, and loads of people can bid on that. Like just for a £5.
However you want to do it. The main thing is to put as enough great stuff in there to raise as much money. And I can't stress this enough. The causes that Truants raise the money for are super, super, super important. And I want to make sure that people feel, you know, I want to bid for that. And the money's going to a great cause. But also if they win, they are getting something really substantial.
Andy, it means the absolute world. I mean, I can't imagine many people who are probably busier than you right now. And, you know, the time you've been on with us, you've probably gotten 300 emails, this and that, but you're an absolute legend. Thank you so much for your incredible support. We can't wait to see you in the field in a couple of weeks.
You got it.
We'll be in touch. Andy, thank you so much.
God bless you. Take care.
Everybody.
Bye for now. Bye.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, that's pretty mind-blowing.
Oh my God, like some of those things, even they were a shock to me. I was download dressing gown. I want one.
I know. Andy's just said someone needs to write it to download next year. You know, I think we're gonna have to fight over that honor. But man, so like a David Coverdale guitar that's probably written some of the greatest rock songs of all time.
Yeah.
Right?
That's going to be insane.
That's mad. I mean, just to recap, I mean, we've seen the guitar. We're not going to put a picture out yet, but wow. And I'm telling you, Andy's Stetson, I mean, that is just iconic.
And that's just 2 of the pieces.
Yeah,
and,
that's just 2.
I've got a list here of 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've got 12 items here already.
It's going to be fantastic.
That we've got promised, and we're not putting out all of the details for everything yet, but we did put out obviously that the auction's happening. It's going live at the end of June. So we're going live on, what's the exact date? Thursday, the 29th of June is the date that the auction goes live, and it'll be on auction.heavymetaltruants.com. It'll be live for a week, and then on the 6th of July, that's when the auction will close, and then we'll get hopefully get all the money in for our 4 charities, and hopefully make this year not only the 11th Heavy Metal Truants ride, but download 20. We're going to make it the biggest year ever.
Absolutely. Well, let's get going then. I mean, thank you so much to everyone who has joined us today, anyone who watches it afterward as well. It's all kicking off this Sunday. Virtual HMT begins. I will be in Slovenia watching a popular beat combo, but I will not be shirking my duties. I will be on a bicycle that morning, joining everyone else who's doing virtual HMT. And then the ride begins to download not long after that. Helen, we got some work to do. Okay. Thank you so much for joining today.
We'll see you same time next week, right, Alex?
Yes, same time next week, 5 p.m. next Thursday, 5 p.m. BST, UK time that is. And we'll hope that you'll join us then.
And we'll talk some more HMT virtual and 2 other charities.
Yes, indeed. We'll look forward to that. Helen, thanks so much for your time. We'll see you soon.
Laters.